Hey guys, Cindy over at paper.old.new. Thanks for stopping by and spending some time with me today. Glad to have you. I am bringing back my Making From My Mess videos. So we are going to work on getting some of my mess, some of my stash. Since I've been doing this thing where I'm moving all my stuff out of my old craft space up here, out of my old craft space in the basement and bringing it up here, this has been a really, really big thing for me. I've been looking at all my stuff and I'm like, what if I could just sit down and go through this stuff and I didn't have to find a place to put it. I could just use it and get rid of it and get it out of here. So I'm going to be bringing back the Making From My Mess, and we'll probably do it in sets again like we were doing once before. And I want to start by going through, we have long scraps here. I kind of started pairing scraps together that I liked. What I want to do is make some strip clusters. So this is a great thing to do with, and they don't have to be long strip clusters. They can be short ones like this. This is a great thing to do with scraps that you have, that you've cut off of the end of a 12 by 12 page, or if you've had to cut one of your digitals long ways to make it thinner. You know, whatever your reasoning, and you've got these long strips of paper. We're going to do a couple things with those, but this first thing I want to do, and this is kind of a repeat, Tina did this in one of her, sorry, I keep looking up at my camera and it looks funny, so I keep looking at my hand because my camera's being weird. Anyway, so we're gonna start with strip clusters. Now, the good thing about this is I've kind of gotten started, so we're going to kind of glue together. And then the reason I kind of got started is because what I really want to do is like add some texture to some of these strip clusters, and we could turn them into all kinds of things. I mean, you can use a strip cluster obviously as a page edge, but you could also, if they're wide enough, you could use them as belly bands. You can use them as, I mean, you can do whatever you want with them. A belly band, I would probably, a lot of this is scrapbook paper. I would probably stick it on something. But if you want that torn edge, that's where your tough spot comes in. So you just have to work that out. But what we're going to do, and I want to get my glue mat down. Give me just a second. Okay, so we're going to glue some of our strips together. The other thing I want to be able to do is ink in some cases. So let me pull. Well, let's just put this here so I can get to it, and maybe we'll do different colors. For this first one, I might actually do something like antique linen, something really light. Ooh, you know what? Where's my wild honey? Actually, let's do that. Okay, so this is just to kind of dress up the edges, make them look a little... just give it a little more something. And I do the torn edges. On the strip clusters, I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to accent any straight edges. I'm going to kind of try and just do the torn edges. And we're going to see how that works out. Now on this one, it's nothing but straight edges, so I might not ink that one at all. Okay. Might end up getting my corner punch if I can find it. Okay, and then what I'm basically going to do is put this on here like this. Get out my glue. So how's everybody doing? How was your Easter? So I went down and visited my sister and her kids, and we had a great time. I got to see my nephews play baseball. I haven't gotten to see the little ones play t-ball yet, but I wasn't down there long enough to see a t-ball game. But I did get to see some baseball games, so I was kind of excited about that. Okay. All right, so that's a start for our cluster. So we're going to put that one up there. Now for this one, remember I told you I wanted to use my corner punch. So maybe... Let me see how we were going to do this. I think I was going to put the dots in the back. So the longer piece on top, or the longer piece on bottom. I think I like the longer piece on top, actually. And what I was thinking, okay, so like we round this corner and we round this corner, and then we round this corner, just for fun. That way none of the corners are the same. Okay, and then we'll put that down. I think we're just going to go to there. So yeah, I decided to bring back the making from my mess, just because, like I said, I mean, I feel like it could be a constant series. I feel like it's a series that never really goes away, but I have taken a break from it. And I was doing mini series within the Making from My Mess series. So in that respect, I'm probably going to be, this is going to be a scraps mini series. We're going to be doing things with cutoffs and scraps and things from our scrap box. So if that's something that interests you, then yeah, we're going to try and figure out ways to use just things. Well, as I'm digging around down in the basement, trying to get my stuff taken apart. I'm missing a piece. Here we go. Okay. As I'm digging around down there in the basement, trying to get all my stuff taken apart, I am finding that I have, right now, this is the thing. I have to remember how I had this one here. I want to say I had it peeking like that. No, I didn't. Like the way I did that? No, I didn't. I didn't have it like that. Okay, so I'm going to put these like this. The question is, do I want to round any of these corners? Let's do this one because you can see it. And you can see both of these. I kind of like leaving a sharp corner. So we're going to leave one sharp corner. Also, if I do decide to ink this, it probably won't be with the same ink. Oh, let's see. I don't think I have any of the, what's on here? That looks like this mustard seed color. Sorry if you guys see the top of my head every once in a while. This looks like our old standby. I don't even know if I have one of those in here. Yeah, I did. Vintage photo. There we go. I know I could just get out my big pads, but okay, let's do some inking on this one. Not a lot, just enough to like I said, I'm hoping that we'll be able to get into some like decorating. Pull some of our, these boxes I have off to the side over here that have all my doodads in them. I'm actually getting rid of these storage box things that I'm just going to go up the middle of this. The other thing I have, since it's at my disposal, is my sewing machine, and I am very seriously considering using it on some of these. So I will be pausing you to go over and run my sewing machine up some of these. Okay, now the idea was to put some of these on here to kind of break it up. So I want to ink this because it's so white. So anyway, yes, I saw baseball games and we had a lot of fun. My daughter got her ears pierced. She's 14. For the longest time, she didn't want to do it, and then she decided she wanted to wear earrings, and so she decided to get her ears pierced. So we went and did that. And yeah, we just, we kind of did some shopping that day because we went to an outlet mall to get the ears pierced. So yeah, it was fun. It was a fun day. My niece already had her ears pierced, so she got a second set of holes in her lobes so that she likes the idea of wearing hoops and then a stud in the top hole and hoops in the bottom hole, like that. Kind of curious to see what my daughter does with earring, because she likes asymmetry, kind of like I do. And she's been talking about wearing studs on one ear and dangles on the other, and kind of, I'm like, it's very 80s of you. You know, it's just a thing. The one thing I don't know is whether or not I'm making this too long. Let me get my ruler. I'm mostly worried about the part. Okay, right now I'm sitting at about 9 inches. I won't mind tearing at this end. I don't want to tear at that end. So we don't want to go any longer than what we've got right now. So I'm going to put this right about there, I think. The whole thing is going to be on the paper, so I guess I'll just put glue on all of it. It's just going to be a matter of positioning it. It was funny, we were at the place, and the earrings that they had on sale for the week that were discounted for piercings have gotten so expensive, she didn't have any in stock. So she said that she would give us any of the earrings of the same size. So like the studs they come in different sizes, 2 millimeter, 4 millimeter, 3 millimeter. The 3 millimeter was the size. Yeah, so they had to pick from, maybe I'll put this at the top since I'm probably going to tear at the bottom. I want to keep that. And the bottom is probably going to get torn. See, this one's nice and wide. This would make a good belly band, I think. So what I could do is glue it to a piece of file folder and then tear the file folder. Does that make sense? I'm sure it makes sense. I always ask you guys that like I'm asking difficult questions. I'm just going to do the edge. I'm not going to try and, how when we get the paper core exposed? The paper core on these is exposed. The thing is, the paper core is the same color as the paper, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to do the edge. Sometimes if you do this right, it makes the edges look burnt, which I like. Okay, so we're going to do like that, and then we're going to put glue all over this because the whole thing can go down. And this will be another one. Now, while I'm gluing all of these together, it's giving time for glue to dry in the first ones, which will be nice because then I can go over to the sewing machine. I don't want to take my sewing machine and go through wet glue. And I probably shouldn't go through Fabri-Tac, but here's hoping that it doesn't mess up my sewing machine too bad. Okay, here we go. Just like that. And then what I'll probably do is this end I want to keep, right? So let's tear it like this. Like that. Okay, and then this end is the end where, and I'll hold on to that because we can use it in a different one of the videos of using our scraps. See all these strips I have here? We're going to do other things with strips. Okay. So I'm going to hold on to that as it is, and then when I'm ready to do the rest of my thing with it, because what I'm probably going to do is sew it and then glue it to its backing if I turn it into a belly band. That way the stitches get covered up and I don't have to worry about whatever paper I slide in there getting caught. Okay. All right, and this one we've got a little piece of wallpaper. I'm trying to remember what went with what. Okay, so it's going to be like that. Again, I think vintage photo will go with this one. So this is some of the 70s wallpaper. I'm going to glue it on there like that. So, yeah, as I go through this process, I hope you guys will join me. I'm not really going to do the plan ahead thing, but if you want to join in, I will try to tell you, I'll try to remember to tell you at the beginning what we're doing so that you can gather up whatever it is you need to do what we're doing. All right, we're going to do all of these. And that way, hopefully, if you, like I said, if you want to join in, you can, or if you want to watch the video first and then join in, I don't know. I tend to be one of those people who doesn't, I tend to watch a video, figure out how something's done, unless it's really complicated, and then I'll do it along with the first time. But I tend to watch a video, figure out how it's done, and then do it kind of on my own. That makes sense? I know I don't make a lot of sense, but... All right. So, oh, and my nephews, because my sister does, so the girls got to go out on their shopping trip, and all of that for their day out, and get their ears pierced and all that. My nephews got to go see the Minecraft movie. Oh, they were so excited. So they had a lot of fun doing that. They went with their dad. He took them after work one evening. So they had a lot of fun. And I will say this. The rural area I live in, the movie theaters are not quite so extravagant as where my sister lives. She lives in an area where the movie theaters have... that doesn't look straight. Not that it matters, because it's not torn straight, so it's not really... I suppose it doesn't really matter. I wanted to put this piece on here, I think. No, it's definitely going to go that way. I like the tattered edge. I don't want to compromise it. I'm debating whether or not to do it like that, so that that gets reinforced kind of on the edge there. Or maybe down here like this. Really tuck it over. Yeah, I like that. Okay. But they have like really nice reclining seats with, you know, the thing that pops out for your feet. And we went to a movie while we were down there, like second day I was there. We got down Friday. We got down Good Friday, and then we went and saw King of Kings. The animated, we took the kids to the animated King of Kings. It was good. Kids really liked it. So, yeah. And then, but there's like restaurant type food. You can order, you know, chicken fingers and nachos. They even had sliders and truffle parmesan fries. And I mean, they had all kinds of stuff. And I was like, this is insane. Next time I want to see a movie, I'm coming down here. That's what I told her. I was like, I'm not wasting my time up by me anymore. This is insane. Okay. For this one, I definitely have more space than I need. I think I'm going to tear this part up top off, only because I like this piece that's kind of half of a postage stamp and it's half of the word postal or postcard or something. So what I'm thinking is that I'll put this down here and then tear off the excess up there. But first I want to tear, do I want to tear it? What if I make this into a, let's leave it. Okay, and then I can tear it later if I want to. Okay, but I can make both of these edges look torn. All right. Then I can cut this piece off and we can use it somewhere else. Actually, we might be able to use it on the other day that we use that other little scrap I stuck off somewhere. All right, so I think I'm going to put that on there. Okay, just going to stick this in this glue. So I know I'm not the only one with mountains of scraps. I have containers upon containers upon containers. I even started a big drawer over here, and then I decided, you know what? I need to use the scraps and then make myself a little tray on my desk here. My idea. Now, this is my idea. We'll see whether or not it actually comes to fruition. I want to make a little thing on my desk up here. And when I'm working on something, I want to toss all the scraps into it. And then when I'm done working, the idea would be to then sit down and use all the scraps I made that day so that I don't take any scraps into another day. No carryover. I think I can do it. Yeah, me either. That sounds very ridiculous to try and uphold. But I just want to be able to not have, like I said, a ton of scraps piling up. Because to be honest with you, I have all these scraps and I sit and I stare at them and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. And it's kind of nerve-wracking, if I'm going to be honest. Mostly because it's kind of like when I'm looking at a mess in my house and there's piles of stuff and I'm like, where do I start? It's the same thing when I look at my scrap bin and it's, 3 scrap bins big. And I'm like, what do I do with all of these? Because I have this little bucket and I had I've shown you those 2 big 12 by 12 folding containers that I have that are full of scraps. And then I have other bins and bowls and things that, get scraps all in them. And I just, it gets to be a lot after a while. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with all this. And I added a ton when I was working on the Tina's mass make projects because I was spending so much time working on the mass makes. That's why a lot of times you guys would see, sometimes you guys would see the same papers show up for different projects, because if I could use up the scraps I had already made in the next project or another project down the road, I did. Because I was looking to, like I said, I was looking to not make excess scraps as I went. Ugh, that's a mess. Why did you do that? Get off my rag. Okay. So that's my idea, is to have a thing here. And I actually have a tray downstairs. It's an old dough bowl from like the turn of the century. One of those old wooden carved dough bowls. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, that was my purpose when I bought it. I was like, oh, this would be a great scrap bin to just throw things in as I'm going. That bubbled there because of the way I slid it around. So now there's a bubble there, which I'll just have to worry about later. I think I wanted this to go out here. I don't necessarily want it to be centered. Maybe up this way. So that's my thought on scraps. I mean, and it's not just paper scraps. I have bins of lace scraps, fabric scraps, just everything. Lace scraps, fabric scraps, wallpaper scraps. I separate the wallpaper scraps out. So let's just bubble the whole daggone thing. I don't want that low. Yeah, that's going to bug me. Okay. I'm going to put that one down before something crazy happens with it. Okay, this one was interesting because I thought it would be fun to put this. This is some of my crazy paper. And honestly, I thought I was going to use all the crazy paper. I thought I was just going to use this side. But this strip, it's from double-sided paper, and it's a thin strip. And it popped up, and I was like, oh, those match. And I was like, I could tone it down a little bit with some music and then run that strip on here. So what I'm thinking about doing is, let's put this back. And I think I have like it's called olive something. Here, crushed olive. Oh, look, I got a lot on there. Some of these inks are no joke, man. Okay, so we go like this, right along this edge. And then this would go up here like this. What are we thinking? Like it? I like it. Okay, let me see. I don't know how long this is. Ooh. Okay. So we're looking at a 10-inch strip. Again, I'm just going to go up like that. And I'm going to put this on here so that edge sticks out. Just a little. I just want it just over the side. Yeah, perfect. I feel like this is a good way to kind of use up these weird papers. And the only reason I say that is because you're toning them, you're breaking them up. Does that make sense? So, honestly, I'm just going to run a line up the middle here. And lay this on it. You're breaking the crazy up. You're not necessarily toning down the colors, but you're breaking up the crazy. Which, you know, come say, come saw, you might like the crazy. I don't even know what that means. I probably didn't even use it right. Okay. Alright. And actually, I think I'm going to go, because this has got some white. I suppose I could tear this off. Although this is really tall, so that's probably going to end up getting torn off anyway. But we're going to go down like this. Now, for my money, the thing about using strip clusters as page edges is I always feel like you need one to go on the other side, because when you flip the page, this is sticking off, right? Now, there's multiple ways you can do that. I myself would stick this on a page edge, and then when I turned it over, the easiest thing to do would be to lay a piece of fabric down the edge of the other page. Because otherwise, you've got to line up. I don't know. I suppose you don't have to line them up. Oh, okay. So these went together like, who knows? I have no idea what I was doing with this mess. I do not remember. Maybe on this side. Like that. And like that. I have no idea what I was doing with these. I like them together. Just not sure what I was doing with them. I don't know where my little Oh, never mind. You know what? Where was that antique linen? It was a double stack. Drop it in here and lose it. Oh, there it is. I'll do. Oh, perfect. I like these little daubers. They're kind of nice. First time I've used one. Also the first time I've used a domed pad. Also kind of nice. Oh, we've been at this for a little bit. I only have a couple left. So if you'll bear, or one more after this one, I only have one left. So if you'll bear with me, we can get these down. Figure out some embellishments. I'll do the sewing real quick and then we'll glue some embellishments on. And we obviously don't have to do them all. I think that was long enough. Okay. Ooh, made that really wide, didn't I? Let's pull that over some, shall we? Okay. So I have one more over here that I would like to do, and then we can try and, like I said, find some embellishments for a couple of these. I don't know where I'm going to go as far as the embellishments go. So we're going to do the ones that come to me quickly, and then the rest of them I will do on my own. And if we do one of those, take a look at what we've done videos, I'll bring, since we did do the strips, I'll bring back any that I decorated on my own and show them to you so you can see how they turned out. But anyway, so that's that one. And then one last one, I had this. I loved these blues. So I'm thinking I'm going to put this on. I might put all of this on the denim. This might actually be purposefully a belly band, if that makes sense. So like if I do that and I do this and I glue them down like that and then I decorate, and this is purposely a belly band. So I would reinforce that on a piece of file folder. And it's got straight edges, so I don't have to worry about it. I think I like that idea. There we go. All right. Excuse me. Having my nose itches. Like again, this. Now I will say this. These little guys are inks. My big guys are oxides. I actually, sometimes when I'm doing this edging stuff, I think I like the inks better. Okay. See, this was one of those papers, but I decided to use the stained side, the side that I experimented on. Actually, I suppose I actually experimented on the front side, you know, with dyes and stuff, trying to break up, again, I was trying to break up the crazy design. But on this particular one, I like the, yeah, that'll work out good. And then we can decorate it. Or should we leave the bottom? Because this has got the stem, should we do it like that? And then decorate down here. I suppose I should figure out how long it is first. I don't know if this is still 12 inches. Almost. It's 11 and a half. So it'll probably have to get taken down some anyway. All right. So these are the ones we got done. I'm going to pause you and I'm going to run a stitch up these, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to try and put some decorations on these. Maybe while I've got the camera paused, I'll take a look and see if I can find something, just so you can get an idea. Okay, so I threw some stitches in these. As you can see, some of them I just stitched along the edge. I did different stitches. This one goes all the way down. This one just goes along the edge of the dark paper. For this one I did along the edge, and then I said, well, what if I do a straight stitch down next to it? This was the one that buckled in the middle. So it's got an extra stitch in it just because I wanted to futz with it. This one goes this one goes almost all the way down. So it starts at this strip and goes down the strip and then stops at the end of the strip. So, and then this is a zigzag that's very crooked all the way down the paper. Very crooked. And then this one I didn't sew at all. I decided I didn't want any stitching in that one. Now, I had a couple that I figured out some decorations for. This one, I stitched a piece of lace on here. I kept the, what do you call, header? I don't know. What do you call that piece of, that holds the lace in together that we usually tear off? I kept that, and that's what I sewed it down with. So what I was thinking was I was going to put these on here, and I had this set up so that it went something like that. Let's go ahead and glue. I need to figure this out so that I know how to place the label, because this covers up this center part and goes on top of the flower like that. I thought that was kind of fun. So let's glue all this down. We'll get a couple of these decorated. Like I said, I went and found some decorations just to get some ideas of what you might be able to do with some of these. And then they can decorate the edges of whatever you want to decorate with them. So I'll put that on there like that. Goes over like that, I think. And then we'll put the flower on. This is from one of the Tim Holtz things. Field notes, snippets, I don't know. One of those. Okay, put that on there like that. And then we'll do this little guy. So I hope you guys will join me as we start back into our Making From My Mess. I hope that you will. Like I said, this series is scraps. I think right now my idea is to still do it in groups, but I mean, who knows? I may or may not continue with that. As far as the little mini series in the series, kind of an idea. I don't know. That's got a torn spot in it, but I suppose if I glue it down on a page or something, it won't matter. Okay, so that's one, all kind of decorated up. Looks cute, right? And then you can stick this on the edge of a page in a book, and you know, yeah. The other thing you might be able to do with it is just glue down the back part, and you could tuck something under it. So it could be a tuck. Depending on where you put it on your page, if you glue this side down, you could tuck under here, or you can glue this side down and tuck under here. It doesn't really matter. But that's one. Okay, and then this one, I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to glue it down to this piece of file folder. The hard part is going to be, of course, the torn edge. So I'm not really sure. That's the tough part for me. But I got a couple of little things to glue on here, and I think that we'll go ahead and decorate this one up. And I have one more, and then I'll let you go. For all of the people out there that like getting ideas like that. Okay. And on this one, I just did a straight stitch through the words, actually. Okay, now I'm going to glue this piece down. It's going to go right across here, like that. Oop, getting glue on my fingies. Okay, and then we'll glue this on. Now, I don't want to go all the way over because it hangs off on that edge, and I don't want to put glue. And it's kind of catty corner in the fabric. So the fabric rectangle got glued down, and then this kind of got put in there, kind of catty cornered. And then I thought it would be fun to put this up here and let it overhang onto the dark. So I'm going to put glue like that, just to glue it down. Oh, I want it to be inside this orange. So like that. And then, what did my dauber? This, I can see the white edge, so we're going to try and just make that. And then we'll have this stick over here like this. It doesn't go all the way on. Okay. And then the idea, if I wanted to reinforce it, would be to then glue it down to this piece of file folder and cut here, tear there, tear this off where I want it. Because remember, we were going to tear the bottom down here off, and then try and tear this and see what I got. I'm going to let this dry, and we might do that just so you can see what that's like. This one, I want to put this on here, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut it and glue it to either side so that it looks like it's running down underneath the ticket. Okay, so we're going to glue it here. We'll glue here. I'll glue on the daisies, I guess. I suppose you can glue on all of it. But I don't know how much it's going to need. It's going to kind of go along the stitching. Oh, all the way up to the end. Right along the stitches. Okay. Yeah, it's going to cover up all the stitching. I didn't really like the way those stitches turned out, so I'm not real upset about them getting covered up. And then this would go in here like this, and maybe I'll tuck it under because I didn't glue that down. Okay. And this was a sticker, remember I told you, so let's peel the back off. I've done that before. Glued on the backing and then glue the backing down to the thing, and then the sticker peels off. And the backing is what's stuck to your project. So just make sure you know if it's a sticker or not. Especially with these chipboard pieces. Okay, so we'll do that like that. Now, that's sticky on either side. I mean, eventually it'll go away, and depending on how you use this, you know. But, all right, then we take this and we see how much we're going to need. Let's do this. We'll cut this leaf off. And we'll cut right here. Okay. And then glue this down on the stitches. Just like that. There we go. See, and that's cute. I like that. Turned out cute. All right. So there's that idea. So we got those two decorated, and I still have a couple of these left. I'm almost out. I like that trim. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get any more. Okay, so the idea behind this was going to be, let's put glue all over it. Let's wipe the end of my glue off. That always happens when I glue on fabrics and stuff. The end gets all gooky. Okay, so basically, I'm going to kind of go along the edge, but not all the way along the edge, so that hopefully it will tear. I want the torn edge to be reinforced, so it's kind of hard to say don't glue the torn edge down, because that's part of the part, because that's thinner than the rest of it. You know how the paper tears. I mean, you see the white on part of it because it tears away and splits in the middle, kind of away from its core, and I mean, that's the way it tears. So, okay. So, just like that. We're going to put this all down. Now, this bottom part down here isn't hard because, well, let's do this top piece. Okay, so we got that. It's not so bad. And we're going to tear right along here. And then we're going to cut this off because it's on a straight edge, so it doesn't have to be right up there. Okay. And we've reinforced that back part. Now we're going to tear this off. Let's see how tall we are. I'm going to tear it off about right here. Actually, let's do it this way. Okay, and then that bottom end is torn. Now we just have to get this to tear. I don't know, guys. Ooh, see, it's tearing back further than I want it to for reinforcement, but all right, for the most part, we got it. And then we've got a couple pieces here where you can see the folder, and I can just go in and pull those. You can also just go in and ink it. Okay, but there you have that, and now that has been reinforced so that you could use this as a belly band if you wanted to. That's the folder again sticking out, so let's see if I can't tear that off of there. There we go. Okay, so that one's torn down to size and ready to go in a book, and like I said, you can use it as a belly band. And yeah. Okay, so welcome back. I will say welcome back to Making From My Mess. I hope you guys will enjoy picking this series back up, and we will make an attempt to get some of these scraps under control, because I got tons and I'm ready to like seriously make a dent. So join me and see if you can't get rid of some of your scraps too. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.